It's so stupid, it's positively brilliant.
The Brilliant Boys Podcast.
What a fucking idiot goes to the people who were in my comments yesterday.
What'd you do yesterday?
Not yesterday, over the weekend. Because, last Friday, the fight between Roy Jones Jr. and Mike Tyson got announced. Now, Schulz, I didn't know that it wasn't a thing that everybody knew when I said Roy Jones Jr. had a better boxing career than Mike Tyson. And Roy Jones Jr. was a better boxer than Mike Tyson. I didn't know that was ever up for debate. People were in my YouTube comments telling me to shut the fuck up.
Whoa.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
Whoa.
One person actually said to me on YouTube, nobody ever mentions Roy Jones Jr. with the greatest boxers of all time. I was like, what?
I'll say this.
Once again,
go.
This shows how good media manipulation is. Mike Tyson can put up a couple Instagram videos showing he still got it at 50-something years old, looking fast, hitting hard for 15, 20, 25 seconds, and people start saying shit like, Mike could beat Tyson Fury. Mike could beat Anthony Joshua. Mike could beat Deontay Wilder. Now, Mike Tyson was a better boxer than Roy Jones Jr. Talk to me, Schulz.
Yeah, you know what? Roy Jones Jr. did a great disservice to himself when he just continued to fight beyond his prime. But if Roy Jones Jr. won the heavyweight title and then stopped boxing after that,
He'd be known as the greatest boxer of all time.
He might, bro. He really might go down as the greatest boxer of all time. But he fought too long, man. He loves
fighting.
He loves, bro.
He does. He loves fighting. He really does.
We interviewed him for Flagrant 2, man. He's so funny about it too. And I was like, you ever worry that you might lose something in the ring? You might get hit and you might just, not come out of it the same way. And he takes a beat and he goes, honestly, I never went in the ring with much sense to begin with, bro. So I wasn't really worried about losing any.
We had Roy Jones on yesterday. Roy said,
Legend.
Roy said, I want to die in the ring.
What?
He said, I don't mind. He said, if I go, I would love to go doing what I love to do. Bro, you don't want to fight nobody like that. And listen, I don't know who's going to win the Mike Tyson Roy Jones fight.
Hold on.
All right, we have some technical difficulties. But no, I agree with you. I think that if Roy Jones would have stopped right after he won the heavyweight title, he'd be considered probably the greatest boxer of all time. That's why it blew my mind. But this goes back to what I was talking about. You can really manipulate people through media. And I love Mike Tyson. I'm not taking nothing away from Mike Tyson. I respect Mike Tyson wholeheartedly. But on what planet was Mike Tyson ever a better boxer than Roy Jones Jr.?
No planet. I think Mike Tyson is the beneficiary of some of the most amazing marketing and PR, in boxing history.
Absolutely.
I mean, he was knocking out guys in a devastating fashion. But, when he started to fight like the upper echelon guys, like the real top guys, the Holyfields, the Lewises, granted, maybe he was a little bit older, but...
Buster Douglas.
Yeah, the real top
Don't front
tier.
on Big Buster Bust.
Yeah.
You go back and you watch that fight, Buster Bust didn't get no lucky punch. Buster Bust wore Mike Tyson out the whole fight. It was never close.
Yeah, now he fucked him up. And apparently, Tyson was fucking 5 girls at a time in Japan and, got knocked out during training by, I think, Greg Page or something like that. He just wasn't in it. But he was a ferocious fighter and, a ferocious dude. And I think we're just kind of, drawn to people like that, And
that's fine. But I just think it's weird that a person who literally was named Fighter of the Decade in the 90s by the Boxing Writers Association of America. A guy that has won 4 belts at 4 different weight classes. What was it? Lightweight, middleweight? I think
No, I think it's middleweight, super middleweight, light heavyweight, heavyweight.
Yes, middleweight. You're right.
Not lightweight. Sorry, middleweight, super middleweight,
light
heavyweight, heavyweight,
and heavyweight. Come on, man, that's unreal.
Yeah.
This guy is phenomenal. So just to dismiss him and be like, oh yeah, he ain't shit to Mike Tyson. Really?
Yeah.
Just because he wasn't and by the way, when Roy Jones used to fight, he used to be an event.
Bruh.
He wasn't Mike Tyson. I'm not going to say that he had the same hype around his fights as Mike Tyson, but it was an event when Roy used to fight. That's all I'm saying.
So much fun, man. I have so many memories of just watching fights with my pops. Remember the one where he had his hands behind his back and he was poking his head at the guy slips the
man.
punch, and then knocks him out.
Oh man.
It
Listen,
was
Roy
unreal,
Jones.
man.
Roy Jones was literally Roy Jones was to boxing what Patrick Mahomes is to quarterbacks.
Ooh.
The shit Roy Jones used to do in the ring,
You're like, how
we
the
never
fuck
seen
is that
nobody
possible?
fucking do.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's how Patrick Mahomes is. I get it.